I knew the moment the HR director cleared his throat that the celebration wasn't for me. The prototype was still warm on the conference table. 2 years of my life condensed into a humming, palm-sized core. My core. Their clapping hadn't even died down before the VP slid the termination folder across the table, like he was passing salt. "We're restructuring," he said. I nodded once. No anger, not yet, because the room smelled like blood, and they didn't know it was theirs. I met them 3 years earlier. Bright lights, big promises. I was the quiet engineer with a reputation for solving impossible problems. They were the hungry tech company gnawing at the ankles of giants. We fit, or so I thought. They praised me, funded me, called me the future of the company. They knew my wedding anniversary, my coffee order, my dog's name. They shook my hand with warm palms and cold intentions. Back then, I still believed loyalty went both ways. The first crack showed 6 months before they fired me. A meeting I wasn't invited to, about my own project. Notes that mysteriously excluded my contributions. A promotion cycle that needed reevaluation every quarter. Even the CTO, who once joked we'd grow old building impossible things together, stopped dropping by my workstation. I noticed. I always do. Then came the message. It wasn't meant for me, but incompetence is a beautiful ally. A forwarded thread from the VP to HR. As soon as the deliverable is complete, proceed with the offboarding. No severance, check the clause about proprietary contribution. Proprietary contribution. Cute. They assumed everything I built belonged to them. They assumed wrong. I didn't react, not outwardly. Inside, something shifted, clicked into place like a perfectly machined gear. I'd been preparing for their betrayal long before they planned it. Maybe some part of me sensed it. Maybe I'd learned too much about the industry. Or maybe I just didn't trust applause from people who smiled with only their teeth. The core, the heart of the Flagship system, was my personal device. Registered to me, fabricated on my home equipment. I never signed it over. They never asked. They didn't even know what they didn't own. And without it, their 2-year project was just a corpse missing its heart. So I waited, polished the prototype, delivered the final presentation, watched them celebrate. Then I stood there listening to them fire me. 2 years of work. Gone, in their minds. I walked out with my badge deactivated and my box of belongings unsealed, because they checked only what they understood, and they understood nothing. That night, I adjusted the licensing portal on my device. The rental fee, normally $400 a month for partner companies, shifted to $50,000 daily, a 1,000% jump overnight. I didn't do it out of spite. I did it because value should reflect reality. Without my core, their product couldn't boot, run, demo, or ship. At 6:12 a.m., my phone rang. The CTO's name flashed, trembling. I let it ring twice. He didn't start with a greeting. He started with panic. "Listen, we need that component today. There's a board demo in 2 hours, 20 investors, half our runway. We can negotiate, okay? Whatever you want." His voice wavered on the last word. Good. It meant he understood, at least partially, the shape of the situation. I spoke slowly, calmly, like a surgeon explaining a necessary amputation. "You fired me yesterday." "That was a mistake," he breathed. "We can reverse it." "No," I said. "You can rent." Silence. Heavy. Blooming. He'd seen the updated price. "This is extortion," he whispered. "No," I replied. "This is the market adjusting." They tried everything after that. Lawyers, threats, pleas. But ownership wasn't on their side. Paper trails don't lie, and I keep immaculate ones. By the time they accepted the rental terms, the board demo was over. Investors pulled out. Their valuation cratered. The VP resigned. HR blamed administrative errors. The CTO stepped down 6 weeks later. The company didn't die in a blaze. It withered, slowly, predictably. Systems failing one by one as my core lived comfortably in a locked case in my apartment. Justice, I learned, isn't loud, it's precise. Now, when I think about that day, the termination, the panic calls, the collapse, I don't feel anger, just equilibrium. They taught me what loyalty meant to them. I simply returned the lesson in a language they understood: consequences. And that was just the beginning.